Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm really excited to bring tonight's topic to you. We're calling it Avoid the Cash Flow Cliff. And we're going to talk about the counterintuitive key to predictable practice growth. You know, dental practices don't fail because dentists aren't good clinicians. They fail because cash flow dries up. And when it does, everything becomes harder. You start dreading payroll week. You're putting off new equipment purchases, even though you know it would help patients. And at night, instead of sleeping, you're running the numbers in your head, wondering how long you can keep juggling. You know, payroll alone consumes 25 to 30% of collections. In the average practice, that's nearly 61% of dentists report cash flow as one of their top financial challenges. So what if there is a way to settle those cash flow concerns once and for all, right? What if instead of sleepless nights, you had predictability, stability, and freedom? If nothing changes, the practice you've worked so hard to build can slowly suffocate. Bills pile up, team morale dips, and patients notice the cracks. Before long, you're caught in a cycle of financial stress that makes every clinical day heavier and every decision harder. Here's the good news. I'm going to give you that answer and more in the next 20 minutes. So I'm going to ask you to turn off any distractions that you might have, your phone, your email, and pay 100% attention, because what we're about to cover can change everything about your practice and its future and your peace of mind. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Lori Bernardo. I'm the Director of Practice Growth here at Amplify 360. You know, I've spent my entire adult career in the dental profession, over 35 years. I've done just about every job in dentistry, and I know dental practices better than any other thing out there. And the great thing is that I've been able to help practice owners live the life they've dreamt about in dental school. Who doesn't want that, right? I've worked with thousands of dental practices across the the United States, helping them reach their full growth potential. So let's talk about it. Cash flow really is more than just a dollar amount. It isn't some abstract number in QuickBooks. It is literally the oxygen of your practice. When it's moving, everyone breathes easier. But when it stops, everything suffocates. Payroll, bills, reinvestment, even the quality of patient care. So there's 4 ways cash flow stresses out good dentists. So let's talk about them. So number 1, the money's missing. Again, nearly 61% of dentists report cash flow as one of their number 1 top financial challenges. Most connect that stress directly to inconsistent or low patient inflows. In other words, it's not about how skilled you are clinically, it's about whether the money is moving through the doors. Cash flow stressor number 2. Cutting expenses isn't helping. And here's the hard, cold truth. You simply cannot save your way to growth. If your only plan to grow is cutting expenses, you're actually already sliding toward decline. Practices that cut their marketing and growth efforts to preserve cash are the ones that end up in crisis mode the fastest. By the way, you're going to hear me refer to marketing and growth or growth efforts. And for our purposes, they're actually one and the same. Money and time you spend toward growing your practice. Healthy cash flow is what pays your team. It keeps the lights on. It funds technology patients expect. When it's strong, you feel free to invest, expand, and lead with confidence. When it's weak, you're stuck in survival mode, constantly reacting, constantly stressed. Cash flow stressor number 3. These are the hidden disruptors. Nearly half of all dental practices cite delayed or denied insurance reimbursements as one of their biggest headaches. Over a third point to rising overhead costs that never seem to stop climbing. Together, these forces quietly drain your financial strength until one day you realize you're just running on fumes. Cash flow stressor number 4, proof point. It's the payroll pressure. Like I said before, payroll alone consumes a very big part of your collections, 25 to 30% in the average practice. 1 weak month of patient inflow can force you to dip into reserves or delay paychecks. And really, nothing rattles a team morale faster than uncertainty around payroll. It's a downward spiral. So here's how it plays out. A dentist cuts $5,000 a month from the marketing budget to save money, but that cut chokes off your patient flow, and then production drops by $20,000 to $30,000, and then collections tumble. Every month, that gap gets wider and wider, and it takes longer to climb out. It's a fatal mistake. Profitability does not come from pitching pennies. It comes from fueling the inflows that drive collections. And collections are the lifeblood of profitability, and without them, no amount of cost cutting can save you. The profits, where do they really come from? Data shows that practices growing collections by just 10% annually are nearly 3 times more profitable than those that simply hold expenses flat. Growth fuels profit, contraction starves it. Let's talk about scarcity and growth, right? It's a scarcity mindset versus a growth mindset. Scarcity mindset looks like slashing expenses, hoping next month will be better, and living on a roller coaster. Growth mindset means reinvesting strategically, building predictable inflows, and creating the cash flow stability that keeps you staying. Now, growth as the engine of cash flow, let's be clear, marketing isn't a line item to cut. It's the engine that drives patient flow, case acceptance, and ultimately collections that power your practice. So here's the growth loop, right? Here's what it looks like to bring patients in. Patients drive production, production drives collections, collections create healthy cash flow, and healthy cash flow gives you the resources to reinvest in more growth, and around it goes, right? So here's a proof point. So here's new patient economics. Each new patient generates between $1,000 and $1,500 in their first year, and 2 to 3 times that over their lifetime. Just 10 more new patients a month can mean an extra $120,000 to $180,000 in annual collections. So it's really about smart marketing, right? It's random acts of growth are not effective because they create random results. What you need is smart, consistent strategy that creates predictable inflows, and predictable inflows are what build predictable cash flow. Smart growth, right? What does it look like? It looks like attracting patients who want comprehensive care, profitable procedures. It looks like systems for recall and reactivation that maximize lifetime value. And it looks like tracking ROI. So every dollar you spend comes back multiplied. You know, the practices that freeze marketing, what happens then? Imagine the practice cuts $6,000 in marketing in January. Despite that line item savings, by April, it's likely down $50,000. Collections have slipped and payroll is delayed. And then when they finally realize they made that fatal mistake and they want to restart those growth efforts, it's going to take another 6 months just to regain the momentum they once had. Now, here's the other side of it. Here's an example of a practice that actually doubled down. Now, compare that with this one of our clients who invested $7,500 a month into targeted digital marketing. They added 25 to 30 new patients each month and grew collections by $250,000 in a single year. That's the power of consistency. So what can you expect for your growth ROI? The ADA has found that the average return on investment, ROI, for targeted dental marketing falls between 3 to 1 and 5 to 1, meaning that for every dollar you invest, it should return $3 to $5 in revenue. So run the math, right? A $5,000 monthly growth and marketing budgets can translate into $180,000 to $300,000 annually in collections. That extra cash flow covers payroll, funds technology upgrades, pays down debt, and even creates room for expansion. So there's an action plan. The way forward is clear. Audit your cash flow patterns so you know where the leaks are. Commit to consistent growth investment, and even when it feels tempting to cut, and measure your ROI every single month so you're adjusting based on facts, not hunches. The takeaway: cash flow predictably beats wishful thinking every day of the week. The practices that market consistently enjoy stability, reduced stress, and more freedom to grow. The practices that cut during tough times, well, they're the ones that disappear. Don't let that be you. Consider this. Investing in growth isn't just about numbers, it's about peace of mind. It's about a stronger team, better patient care, and a future you control. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. So how do you enable growth without adding a doctor or staff time, right? And boosting that cash flow while you're at it? Imagine a practice where every marketing dollar you spend turns into predictable cash flow, covering payroll, funding new tech, giving you freedom to grow. Imagine knowing that your growth engine is always on with steady patient flow, creating the cash you need every single month. Imagine never stressing again about payroll because your growth consistently fuels collections and cash flow. And imagine walking into each month with confidence, knowing that your efforts are generating the cash that powers your entire practice. Imagine turning marketing from a line item expense into a cash flow machine, and that keeps your practice thriving. You can keep more of those patients without working longer hours. You can stop losing loyal patients to small, fixable frustrations. You can have a team that's happy, engaged, and proud to represent your practice. You could build a warm, positive office culture where your staff sticks around and everyone, including you, enjoys walking through the door in the morning. At Amplify 360, we help practices not just grow, but retain, right? You have to keep the people that you brought in through your marketing. Oops, sorry about that. Building the kind of patient experience that fuels loyalty, referrals, and reputation. So, I don't know, are you seeing a trickle of patients quietly disappear? Have you seen some negative reviews? Feeling the effects of staff turnover or burnout? Maybe you're in a growth mode and can't afford to lose even one ideal patient to the competitor down the street. Perhaps you're considering going fee for service and need to replace those low value PPO patients with loyal, high value ones. Or maybe you've already built a thriving practice, but you want to protect it by making sure your patients and your team never want to go anywhere else. Wherever you are in your journey, Amplify 360 can help you keep your patients happy, your schedule full, and your practice growing year after year. So how can we help? Growing a dental practice, we know, is not a one-size-fits-all project. What we do here is we meet you where you are. We create a plan for gradual, sustained growth to build an ideal practice with loyal patients and guide you every step of the way. Amplify 360 is a comprehensive practice growth organization. We focus on consistent growth and results through the life of the practice, whether you just open your doors today or you've been spinning your wheels over how to get ahead, or even if things are going great and you're ready to open new locations, we can provide guidance and service every step of the way. I am super proud to put some stats up in front of you because I really see the impact we've had. We've been working with doctors just like you since 1995. That's a really long time. During that time, we've worked with over 10,000 clients, giving us a very unique bird's eye view to so many practice scenarios. And through those years, we have seen what works and what doesn't, and have developed a blueprint to help practices use the best practices for growth. Our average client stays with us 8 years. And I have to tell you, in marketing, the average marketing company gets kicked out every 2 years. So it says something about why people stick around for 8 years or longer. Our top practices actually stay about 12 years. What usually happens to them at the end of those 12 years is they're ready to sell their practice or they're ready to retire. And it's really, they're able to get more for their practice than they ever dreamed possible. The ultimate goal that we have for our practice owners, and we've helped many, many doctors reach this goal over and over again, is to get them, every single doctor within a practice. So one doctor is $2 million in collections. So one doctor in the practice, 2 million, 2 doctors, 4 million. And here's the best part, not by working more, but often by working less. Our average doctor is doing $2 million in collections, working 150 days a year or less. How many days are you working, doc? Many doctors I talked to today are working 4.5 days a week. And then on the weekends, they're doing their admin work. We're talking about 190, 200 days a year, with often only 2 weeks vacation in a year. So imagine working significantly less than that and having more free time. So I love sharing our patient testimony, our client testimonial. So Dr. James Keel's been with us for quite a while, and he told us, right, in his testimonial that in the first month he saw 37 new patients. And really what he's saying in this is that, I love the last line. I mean, he's getting new patient calls, he's scheduling new patients, but what he's seeing is a difference in the quality, right? We're helping attract more of those ideal patients to the practice, not just those low value PPO patients. We are a one-stop shop. So unlike a lot of other companies, we don't build just one part of the equation. We're able to ideate, build, manage every aspect of helping you grow and run your dental practice. So everything from top tier patient generating website to automating your Google review gathering process to direct mail, tracking calls. We help you convert more leads into the patient, and the list truly goes on. Here is just a sample of what we're doing. Everything you can imagine. We are, like I said, one-stop shop. We do full marketing attribution. We have our hands on every lever of your growth, and we're able to leverage all of those systems in concert with one another to make sure that we get the most ideal results and for your practice growth. So not only that, but we grow with you. Every practice faces new challenges as they get bigger, and our clients love that we can help them address those challenges with state-of-the-art tools and expertise from decades of experience of helping doctors just like you make more money and live happier lives. So what's next? Now's the time to take some action, right? What we're offering today is a free practice growth call, right? So we're going to schedule some time together. We're going to look at your current situation, show you what's potentially broken. Why aren't you getting those new patient leads? Is Google penalizing you and keeping you from that growth goal? We'll also determine, if we're a good fit for your practice and vice versa and what it needs. So right now you should be seeing a button on the right side of the screen. I'm going to ask you to click on that now and fill out the form. It's just a few simple pieces of information. When you fill out that form, I'm going to be very clear on this, when you fill out that form, it's going to schedule a time with either myself or one of our awesome team of practice growth specialists here. And that's going to last about 15 to 20 minutes. And there's absolutely no obligation to do anything, just a conversation. It's completely free. So I'm going to ask you, please, take advantage of this opportunity. It really doesn't cost you anything. You can keep guessing what works, or you can lean on a proven pathway to attract new, high-quality patients into your practice by working with a respected industry leader who will light the right path right up in front of your feet. So again, the button is still there. I'm going to ask you to hit that button, fill out the information. I had a doctor call me one time and I says, why did you schedule it? He says, because you kept telling me to click the button. So I'm going to tell you one more time to click that button, because it really doesn't cost you anything, and we're going to be able to help you. If we're a right fit for one another, I know that we can help you. So Dr. Kevin McMahon, he says, I don't have to worry. It's done. I don't have to think about it. Before, I had 4 or 5 different people he's referring to who was working on the marketing. Now, I just trust Amplify 360 to cover everything and help me run the business and make decisions on how I go forward. So you don't have to do this alone, right? I know all of you out there, if you're a solo practitioner, you live alone in a silo, but you don't have to be in that. You can join a team of people who have access and information that we've learned from thousands of practices across the US. Let Amplify 360 help you shape your practice in a way that actually attracts quality patients, converts them into your greatest advocates, and builds your business in ways you've always wanted. So again, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you found this valuable way to spend the last 30 minutes with me. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good night.